Good morning, this is Ajay Kumar and welcome you on our NYS talk show. Today we are going to meet Mr. Harshvardhan and he has completed his master's degree from London School of Economics. He was an alumni of DPS RK Puram and he has completed his graduation from Venkateshwara College of Delhi. He has been a brilliant student throughout and was a state topper in the 10th board examinations. Welcome sir on our NYS talk show.
Thank you.
Sir, we wanted to know your life journey starting from your schooling for the benefit of my friends and family.
My schooling was very regular in comparison. I was always a good student, as you said. More not because I worked harder than my friends, but mainly because I was very gifted as far as studies are concerned from the very beginning. So I won't be the best person to advise people as far as studying is concerned, because different people have different learning capabilities. So it depends on that. I will, however, say that as far as skills to be taken from school forward in your life are concerned, it is more important to be involved outside the classroom than what you do inside it. Skills that you pick on while you are with your friends, for example, or doing a project with your parents, or simply playing, will help you later on in life. So you should be involved, you should follow your interests outside of the classroom if you really want to do well later on. Something I would suggest.
Thank you, sir. Sir, as well, you was the state topper in the 10th board examinations. So how could you manage your preparations of the examinations?
Again, as I said, I won't be the best one to advise on studying. I wasn't a regular student in the sense that I didn't study every day. I started my preparation in earnest maybe a month before the exams. But one suggestion I have, which I see lacking in today's students, is that people don't pay attention in class. They make it up either by studying a lot at home every day or going to tuitions, both of which I think are a waste of time. Your classes will not always be interesting. That is a given. There will be classes which will be boring. There will be subjects you don't like. But if you pay attention in class, your first revision has already happened without you having to go home and study, which frees up time for other activities, which I said are very important. So that is one thing I would suggest if you want to get good marks without being someone who studies for 3 hours every day or goes to 5 or 6 tuitions. Just to pay attention in class, no matter how boring the lectures are.
So we came to know that initially you wanted to become an engineer, but suddenly you changed your mind and thought to become an economist. So can we know the reason behind it?
It wasn't as sudden as you suggest. I have been studying economics since standard 8.
Okay.
So it wasn't as if I did not know the subject. I always liked the subject. Engineering for me was a very dehumanized subject. You're working on mechanics, you're working on science. But there is a human aspect that is lacking there. Compare that to economics, which has a scientific rigor to it. There is empiricism involved, but there is also a very strong human aspect to the subject. You have to study human behavior, which is very, very interesting in itself. So I was always interested in economics, and the balance between science and sociology and studies of human behavior was for me perfect when it came to economics, and that's why I decided to study it further.
Okay, sir. So we came to know that you participated in so much of extracurricular activities like debates, extempores and poem competition, and you won a lot of prizes in them. So how could you manage to participate in these activities apart from your studies also?
Yeah, again, building up from what I said about schooling, even in college it's very important to venture outside the classroom. Especially in arts college. If you're in an arts college, you get a lot of time from studies. There are a lot of soft skills that you pick up here, which will be very, very important when you go for job interviews, especially, and even later on when you are a manager. Stuff like communication skills, how to interact with people, how to influence them, is something that you pick up from these events. And it's not necessary to win prizes at all. That is not an important part of it. Even if you're not very good at it, at worst you'll meet new people. Meet new colleagues, which is always a very stimulating experience. Your horizons are broadened, you appreciate other point of views, and you have different perspective to your own experiences. So it's definitely advisable to go for these events, no matter how good or bad at them you might be.
Okay, sir. So we came to know that you're the copy editor of the DU Beat newspaper. Sir, can we know your experiences of being a copy editor of the DU Beat newspaper?
Yeah, DU Beat was one of the high points in my college, the whole college experience that I had. I officially joined the organization when I was ending my second year. So last few months of my second year. I stayed with the organization for a year, but I was always involved with it. I had a lot of friends working for DU Beat, so I would help them out off and on by writing a few articles. So when I did join the organization, I knew a lot of people inside it.
Okay.
And I rose up the ranks very quickly to become the copy editor. And the experience I had while in that position are very important, because not only did it give me the opportunity to work on my writing skills, to show them off, because I love writing and I got to write articles on a weekly basis, but also the position was one of responsibility. So I was leading 20 reporters under me, and I realized how important that responsibility was, and how important it is to lead by example. You have to be on time, you have to do your work first, to be able to say to your to people under you that you should do the same, especially in a non-hierarchical organization like DU Beat was. It's a very informal setting. So examples are very important, and that is true wherever you go. Even if the organization is very hierarchical, if you are not doing your own work, you'll find it very difficult to convince other people to do the same for you.
Okay, sir. So, why did you want to do master's degree from London School of Economics and not from India?
London School of Economics is one of the best universities there is if you are an economist. The list of alumni from LSE which have gone on to contribute to the subject is endless. So there's always a charm, if you're an economist, to go to LSE, to see what it's like to study in one of the best universities in the world. And the other aspect to it is the fact that you realize where you stand on the global scale, right? And you kind of understand how other people work and how you can improve your methods. So the methods I learned in India, in Delhi University, were not of a global stature. So the rigor that students learn from Russia or places like Germany put them at a great advantage to us, and therefore we have to work very hard. That is one thing I took back from there. You have to be very rigorous with whatever you do. If you are interested in a subject, be rigorous. Be sincere with it. Understand every point. Or else on the global field, you will find yourself lagging.
Okay, sir. Sir, can you tell us the difficulties in arranging your fee? So we also got to know that you got a scholarship. So can you tell how did it help you?
Well, when I was supposed to go to LSE, the then Prime Minister of UK, Mr. Cameron, came to India and he announced 50 scholarships for people going from India to LSE. So I was lucky in that regard. And I had 1/3 of my tuition fee waived off in that scheme, which was very helpful. Yeah. So, and for the rest of it, I took a loan from SBI. My father did most of the legwork with that, so I didn't feel the strain from it. And I'm thankful, obviously, to my father for that. It wasn't much of a difficulty.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir, for giving your valuable time for us. Thank you for watching NYS News. You're watching the sensational talk show of Ajay Kumar. Thank you.